everybody. My name is Ronnie, and I am one of World Education Botswana's program officers. As part of our 16 days of activism against gender-based violence, I am interviewing Deliwe Msisia, our senior technical case management specialist for our APA project in Malawi. Deliwe brings in over 17 years of experience working in the health sector and in providing technical guidance around OVC in DREAMS AGYW. Professionally, she is a nurse and a public health specialist. And for those of you who don't know, 16 Days of Activism Against Gender-Based Violence is an international campaign that begins annually on the 25th of November. The campaign is an opportunity for organizations and individuals to unite and challenge violence against women and girls. During this interview, Deliwe will tell us a little about her experience working with GBV in our Ana Pasagolo activity, which is a USAID and PEPFAR funded project in Malawi. Deliwe, how are you today?
Lonnie, I'm good, and you?
I am well, Deliwe. Deliwe, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to do this interview. I know you are very busy, so I'll try not to take too much of your time. So why don't we get started with you telling us a little bit how you got involved in GBV work?
Thank you, Lonnie. So for me, I started working in the GBV work since 2016. But for today, I will share my experience in my work with the World Education Inc. and the Botswana Initiative. So I started working for Ana Pasagolo activity in October 2020. And the aim of the project is to prevent new HIV infections and reduce vulnerability among orphans and vulnerable children, adolescent girls and young women, and their caregivers. And we are in 8 districts in Malawi. And we are working in 117 high volume facilities. So basically we use 2 approaches. The first one is the family-centered approach, where we are doing case management and we are trying to improve the HIV outcomes for the extreme high risk offices and the caregivers. And specifically on that one, we are including the survivors of violence and abuse. And the second approach, we use the group-based approach, which is looking at HIV, GBV, and sexual violence prevention interventions. So basically, we're using those 2 approaches. Yeah.
Okay. And Deliwe, can you tell us a little bit why is GBV a critical issue to address in the context you work in?
Thank you, Lonnie. GBV is a critical issue to be addressed in the program I work for. Because earlier on, I told you that the aim of the project is to prevent new HIV infections. So GBV fuels the spread of HIV because it's very difficult for a person to negotiate for safer sex when you are in an abusive relationship. So it's very easy. Let's say your partner is HIV positive and you can't negotiate for safer sex, then already you engage in unprotected sex, and the likelihood that you're going to be infected with the HIV, it's very high. So that's why it's so critical for us to look at this issue as well, because if we don't address it, then we'll lose the battle of preventing new HIV infections. And secondly, because our program is an OVC program, it also affects children, and they fail to realize their full potential in life because they are affected in many angles. So their rights are violated, the education rights are affected, the health rights are affected, and even their social relationships, it's also equally affected. So they fail to make it in life as they grow. So it's really important for us to address those issues.
Thank you for sharing that. Who knew negotiation, once you are in an abusive relationship, you lose your ability to also negotiate for even your sexual right? To protect yourself against getting a deadly disease like HIV. Deliwe, tell us about something that you're interested that is very interesting that you're working on right now.
Yeah, currently to address the issues of GBV, our program is having a number of interventions. And the first one is looking at the gender norm change interventions. So because culturally, like in our setup, we feel it's normal for a man to batter his wife because we feel that the wife needs to get some few of the hits and the like. But when we look at the effects and the impact that it has on the human being and even on the children, it has a great impact. So for our program, we are looking at the interventions which need to support the gender norm change. And the programs that we have, they're addressing different age groups. We have the SASAFE, which is targeting the adults, and it's targeting the community at large. Then we also use the GRIC skills for the young generation, the 9 to 14. And we also using the dreams, which is targeting the 10 to 24. And we also use the IEmpower, which targets the girls 9 to 14 as well. So we are looking at all those different age groups, and we are reaching them with the interventions that will promote the gender changes, the gender norm changes. Apart from that, we are also making sure we are incorporating the GBV in the HIV sensitive case management approaches that we use. And even one of our critical benchmark, which is looking at how do we say this household needs to be graduated from the program. And one of the key benchmark or indicator that we use, it's the household has to be free from gender-based violence and even the gender violence for the children as well. So that is one key component, and we are looking at it as a serious issue that we need to address before we say this household is safe, and now the household can be graduated from the program. And apart from that, we are also supporting with the community awareness, and our communities where we work, they know when, where to report, and even when to report if an incident has happened. So we also do that community awareness. And apart from that, for those who are experiencing the gender-based violence or any sort of violence, we also provide the psychosocial support, and we even refer them to access clinical services and other social services when we reach out to them during the family-centered approach that we use. And in the events where we have like a complicated case of GBV, we even engage different government sectors and the other civil society organizations to come together and conduct a disciplinary or multi-sectoral case conference to make sure that the issue is addressed as quickly as possible, and the resources are leveraged from different partners and different sectors so that the victims are supported well and the issues are addressed with agents.
Yeah, that's a lot of interesting work. Deliway, with these, I know this is very confidential work, but is there any stories from your work that you would be able to share with us?
Yes, we have several stories to share. And one of the stories, the successes that we are happy with, it's especially on the issues of the girls I talked about, the 10 to 14 who are engaged in IEmpower session. So we have a number of girls that we are happy to say that now they have learned the self-defensive skills. And if something happens, we are so sure that they will be able to shout and they will be able to protect themselves. And currently, like in Malawi, we have a number of rising cases of rape. So we are happy that these girls are equipped and they would know what to do, and they will run for their lives. Another story is on the 19 to 24 girls who are engaged in dreams. We have empowered them with a lot of livelihood skills. So far, some are doing the tailoring, some are doing carpentry, some are even in hospitality industries, and some are even in fabrication. And there's a lot of metal fabrication. There's a lot that is happening. So some of those girls, they are currently saying now they can stand on their own without relying on their abusive partners, because now they have got a set of skills that can be used to survive in this competitive world. And now they feel like, oh, I think we can stand up on our own and we can do better because now we have the skill sets that we can use. And apart from that, we also have a pool of women who are engaged in VSLA economic strengthening activities. And they are testifying that currently there is a decreased incidences of GBV in their homes. And this is happening because they are economically empowered. And they are saying now our husbands respect us. Previously, they could abuse us physically, socioeconomically, even intimately, but now they are saying we are able to sit down and we are talking and we even reach a consensus to say, okay, now I think we can do this, and the situations have really improved. And the other big part from the VSLA groups is these women, we have introduced them to e-wallet. Previously, they were saying they could save money, but when they've reached the cycle, at the end of the cycle, they're sharing out, their husband could just come and grab the whole chunk of the money and they go on party and all those. And it means this woman's dream of doing something in her life, it ends just like that. So, and when when they could protest for their monies and their husband, at times they could become violent and then they could even hit them. So they were experiencing a lot of GBV. But now with the e-wallet, the women, they even say our money is now safe. We are keeping it electronically, so our husbands will not be closer to it because they don't even know the PIN codes. So they really feel the money is safe, and I can testify that one of the women was sharing from her group, and she was telling us to say she has got a 4 years plan and she has set her targets, and she starts small, and her target is by the end of 4th year she wants to buy a vehicle, a motor vehicle. And that motor vehicle will be part of her small scale business. So she said, yes, I'm geared and I'm so sure this is going to happen. So that's how far the economic strengthening is helping these women to become so assertive and set the goals that they really feel they are going to achieve them by a specific period. But this all goes because our program is able to protect them from these GBV which were happening because women were involved in economic activities and they were saving some monies. And lastly, from the main side, we have male models from our communities. And the male models, they are like a forced fleckon within the communities. They are fellow men like, how come this time we see that there's peace at your home and you and your spouse, things seem to be moving very well. What has changed? Because previously we used to know you as somebody who would always fight with your wife. So these male models, we call them male champions, are testifying to their colleagues, and they say how this project has helped them, and they are even giving space to their females so that they can interact with their fellow women in their safe spaces. And that has really promoted and reduced the GBV scenarios in their homes. So there are a lot I can share, but let me stop here for today.
Thank you for sharing, Andelewe. I love to hear that we are empowering our girls economically and physically to be able to defend themselves, most importantly, for them to be able to financially take care of themselves. I can only imagine how vulnerable you become when you depend financially on somebody else, or your spouse or your partner. And thank you also for sharing, about the male success stories. I think that is really cool that we have male that become the model for our society. And I think with this, we will stop the first part of the interview and then we'll come back for the second part. So thank you, Delewe, for letting us end the first part on a positive note.
Thank you, Ronnie. Bye.
Bye.